Hello, my name is Josh Wilbur, and I am a patient navigator. A patient navigator is someone that has a pivotal role in the health field. Patient navigators help facilitate the navigation of a patient through the healthcare system and assist them with obtaining their health-related needs. They help build relationships among the healthcare system between the patient and the available resources in an attempt to organize the most beneficial scenario for that patient. Patient navigators are essential personnel in all aspects of the hospital and healthcare environment because they help patients overcome obstacles that would otherwise be detrimental. One problem I like to discuss today is stress. Stress is a physical, chemical, or emotional factor that causes bodily or mental tension and may be a factor in disease causation. Stress is a widespread problem that occurs frequently during a person's daily routine. The duration and onset of stress may sometimes appear short-lived. However, the negative byproducts that manifest internally may pose a greater durations of subsequent problems. Stress presents itself in many of forms, which comprise of a variety of intensities. The management of stress is crucial, and if properly managed, your physical and mental health could benefit substantially. Not only is stress a precursor for a multitude of health problems, like cardiovascular disease, cerebral vascular accidents, or strokes, but it poses a significant risk of increasing suicide rates. Stress-related deaths are at an increase, which is frightening because stress is present everywhere. Stress is connected to the 6 leading causes of death within the United States. As a patient navigator, I have a multitude of opportunities of being able to decrease stress that surrounds the patient while being in the healthcare environment. Many patients do not know the process of the healthcare system or possess the literacy of their diagnosis, which I think is a catalyst for stress. I believe I can help the patient by describing the subsequent steps once they are in the healthcare system. Also, I could provide information in regards to what is to be expected. I think many patients are consumed by stress because they are unaware of the unknown and the steps that follow. Patients should not have to endure additional stress on top of their ailment. The healthcare field is stressful for patients and their family members, and being available for any questions or attempting any needs they desire will help reduce that stress. I think it is important for patient navigators to assume that role because healthcare practitioners are sometimes numb or oblivious to the emotional needs of patients and their family members. Therefore, I think communication is key when eliminating the possibility of stress growth while under my supervision. In addition, once the time arises for discharge or at-home care, I will make sure to communicate with the family about what is desired from their healthcare provider. After talking a month with the hospital provider and the patient's family, I could derive a plan to make the transfer home and the care received there an easier transition. I think having appropriate resources available will impede the possibility of stress evolving. I would make sure that my role as a patient navigator does not stop within the realms of the hospital. I think it is important to continue the care the patient requires after discharge and being available to direct resources to the appropriate destination. I would also connect with a patient to discover their interests outside of the hospital. Therefore, I could create a relatable activity within their interests that may decrease the presence of stress. I would inform the patient about the risk of increased stress and the importance of finding an enjoyable way to manage their stress. Having their stress managed while actively healing from their diagnosed ailments would only benefit their outcome. That is why I think communication, or being available to build that relationship with my patient, would decrease the presence of stress. Having contact with a provider and family will also prepare me to possess the knowledge that will benefit the patient's outcome the greatest. I know my patients will appreciate my connections, and I think it will significantly improve their success over eliminating their unfortunate situations. I think sometimes having great working relationships with your patients is more important than other interventions. I think that is what being a patient navigator is about. So for my critique, did I represent myself professionally and in a role of a patient navigator? I would say yes. I think being professional and maintaining that relationship as a navigator to your patients is the most important, and I think that is what is meant to be a patient navigator, is assuming that role. For the next one, did I successfully make the case that change is needed / possible? I think I did. I think I stress the significance of managing your stress and the negative byproducts that could arise from stress. I think I explained that pretty well. Did I sufficiently explain the cause of the problem? I think I did. I think I explained how stress arises from a multitude of problems and the array of possibilities that could arise from stress. Did I discuss vital impact factors adequately? I think I did. I described how frequent and intense stress could be, and also the onset and duration, how it varies of what type of stress, and the secondary effects from stress, and how they can have a much longer duration even after the first stress impact. Was my solution practical, likely to be adopted or adapted by the proposed stakeholder? I think so. I think I proposed a multitude of plans that are very feasible for the family and the family members of the patients. And obviously being there to assist to get that job done is very important for the healthcare, for the patient navigator. What did I do best and what can I do better in the future? I think what I did best was stating the significance of maintaining that relationship and building upon it with the patient and their family members. And what I can do better in the future is maybe telling the patient more about maintaining health literacy about their diagnosis, so they're more apt to be aware of other problems that could arise. I think that's another thing that's very important that should be stressed to the patient.